recording. Hey everyone. Hey everyone. There it is. This is episode 493 of the Ootinicast, recording on the 24th of July, 2024. This is the raw version of the show that goes out live with all flubs and flaws intact. And you can watch us on twitch.tv/Ootinicast. We then take the video version. We just put that up raw as is on YouTube, usually later tonight, and then we clean up the audio a bit, and that goes out as a podcast, audio podcast tomorrow. Let me see, is this, yep, that is what I want. Good, that's all set.
Raw power.
Yeah, so we got a couple minutes here before the top of the hour, so we can vamp just a bit. Let me also let people know that we're live.
Good idea.
We'll see if X has been fixed. It's been very buggy lately in terms of the yeah, I can't wait until we can get away from it, but whatever. That's not my call exactly. I mean, it sort of is, but all right.
All right.
No, it still didn't do it. Okay, I'm going to have to do it the old-fashioned way. Yeah. So I'll do it on my personal one, which is the only one I have logged into, and then I'll have to switch and blah, blah, blah.
Okay. And then I will give it yield repost.
All right. There it is. It is live. It is posted live, and I'll retweet it on the or re-exit or whatever the hell you would say. All right. Very good. If I can find it.
Okay. All right. Okie dokie.
There we go. And there it is. Good. All right, so we're about ready to go here, and
ready when you are.
Okay, I think I'll have a little water here, and then I'm good to go.
Got a stormtrooper.
Love it. Starbucks Trooper style.
Yeah, Jody is like tons of them.
All the same design or slightly different designs?
Just all different kind. We have one of our shelves. It's like all coffee cups.
Nice.
I had to get rid of some because there were so many of them. Crazy.
Yeah. Let's see. All right. Yeah, we have a fair bit of those too, even though like we mostly use like these big Fiesta mugs that are really nice for coffee, especially if you want a little bit more than just like a small cup of coffee.
Oh, and, right.
Yeah, they're kind of like this. They're kind of, they're like the size of like a small grapefruit, basically like half grapefruit, basically. And,
I thought you were going to say small Volkswagen. They're huge.
That's for when you're really thirsty or really need the caffeine. Yeah. All right. Let me have one more bit of drink and then I'm ready to go. All right. I see Japeo's here. Hey, Japeo. Going in 5. Oh, wait. I forgot to come up with a podcast that. Okay, hang on a sec.
Okay, hold on.
Let me see if I can come up with one real fast. Shoot, I hardly ever make this mistake, but today was a little weird. And I guess I forgot last night, too. Usually I actually do it the night before. All right. And unfortunately, I've kind of used up my reserves, because over time, like, I had a couple that were sort of in reserved. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's right, I was going to use one. Or I thought of one the other day, but now can I remember it? That's the question. Hang on a sec.
I'm trying to think of one too.
Mm-hmm.
Have you done that? Isn't the droids you're looking for?
Oh no, I think I got one. It hasn't been used. Wow. Okay. Okay.
Take notes, everyone. You've just watched Chill Forget Something. Yeah. This is a rare event.
Yeah, it's only rare because I usually have multiple things that like remind me and like force me to do things.
Well, I mean, I'm sure you forget stuff in real life, but live on the show. This is a big deal.
Yeah, but I tell you though, it's like I need those extra reminders because otherwise it happens all the time. All right, now I'm ready. Okay, going in 5. Hi, and welcome to the Ootinicast, the podcast that binds us and penetrates us. This is episode 493 being recorded on Wednesday, July 24th, 2024. Never used that one before, believe it or not. I'm your host, chilling with me, and it's so great, right? And with me, my co-host, KittyKissz. Hey, Kitty, what you been up to since the last show?
Not much. My mind's in the gutter, so that meant something completely different to me.
Of course, that's probably why. I saved it for a special occasion like today.
Well, as you know, Chill, we've been doing a lot of PvP, and
it's been a lot of fun.
We both made operatives.
Yes, lethality. So, I believe you're
we're
lethality
both
as well.
Dot spec operatives. So it's really fun to kind of hear your rotation going off.
Oh yes.
Sometimes I'll be ahead or you'll be ahead, or it's just kind of funny. And it's awesome because it does great damage. It does solid. Such good damage. Yeah. And then, with 2 of us and we're both running around, and for some reason that shanking sound, just, if I'm not doing the shanking,
you can hear me doing it? Yeah.
No, it makes me mad when it's me getting shanked.
Oh, yeah.
I hate that sound so much. But it's when it's both of us, it's like, yeah, take that, you SOB. and we're both going in on it. And then
we're not super high yet, but we're in the high Bs, and we're past 47, so we have our dot improver. Yeah. And it's starting to get really good now. So there's still some definitely things I'm missing, that we'll be looking forward to. But at least we have our full rotation now. We have both our dots. We have our dot improver. We have the call, or whatever it's called. Yeah, I think it's called Toxic Blast.
Yeah. But I forgot what I was going to say. Once we get in the 60s, it's going to be murder central. But what happened a couple, I don't know, it might have been last week. There was another group.
You're kind of you're a little too loud. If you could turn it down just a hair, I'd appreciate it. Sorry,
no worries.
I hate to interrupt.
How's that?
Let me see. Let me hear a little more.
How's that? Checking 1.
Yeah, that's 2, good. That's pretty 3. Good. Thank you.
So we were PvPing. We were on Alderaan, and I got surrounded by. There were 3 other characters on the opposite side, and man. 2 of them were operatives, and I got the end of the business that we usually dish out.
Right.
And I got my butt kicked fast. They were higher level. I wouldn't be surprised if, they're past level, 80, like they're in 80s by now, because it was a little while ago.
Yeah.
But, I like doing the damage. I don't like receiving the damage. When I'm playing around, I have this joke. I'm like, don't choke. Don't choke me. I hate choke, and no fire my skin. It's terrible for my skin. Don't do it. Don't do it. So, so when I'm getting shanked, I'm like, no, I do the shanking, not you.
Right.
But I've been having a lot of fun, and I haven't made a new character yet. Chill already went ahead and made a new character for Lobies. But I haven't done it yet, so
which is fine.
But that's how much that Chill and I have been into it.
Yeah,
we're just it's just so fun. It's been really fun. Sometimes we only do it for like an hour a day, and then every once in a while we'll do it for 2, 3, 4, like 2.5 hours. But at that pace, we are still way ahead into the season. Like I am not. I don't have any worries that we're going to not finish the season.
Nope.
Which is, I think, is really good, because that's been an issue in the past.
Yeah.
That we're
sort
right
of
up on the edge of it.
Yeah.
So even though they added 5 extra levels, I really think that having it extended another week is really, really helpful, at least maybe psychologically. I
Yeah.
don't feel like I have to rush it all. So,
Exactly.
but it's been really, really fun. If you guys aren't PvPing, don't get a character and get it to 80 and then start PvPing. Level a character up while you're PvPing. It's a lot more forgiving in the lower levels,
Right.
and it's a lot more fun. If you've had issues with PvP before, give it a shot. You know?
Absolutely.
It's really, really fun, because I used to hate it. I hated PvP, but with us leveling characters PvPing, it's been a lot more fun. So give it a shot again.
Totally.
Give it a try.
Yeah.
And I've been playing not PvPing, actually a little bit of PvP. I'll queue just to kind of see if it'll pop, and every once in a while it does, because this character's on Satil Shan. But
Okay.
my Sith Fury Marauder is evil Obi-Wan,
Okay. Nice.
and I'm playing the the Sork Sith Sorcerer story.
Oh, okay.
And it's really, I love that story. I think it's one of my favorite stories, because it's goofy,
It has some funny bits to it.
Yeah, you're spoiler alert if you haven't run it. It's only like 20 years old now. At one point, your master gets eaten by your monster, or gets
Right.
like absorbed into your monster. So you have this giant 8 feet tall, and its traps go from its shoulder to nearly the top of his head. Huge muscular monster, but it talks with a female voice,
Right.
like a very hoity-toity voice.
British
And
accent
it
and everything. Yeah.
still cracks me up.
Yeah.
It still makes me laugh every time. And I haven't decided if I'm going to keep the Deshad or keep my former master. I don't know, but it's been a lot of fun. And another thing that I've noticed that's really kind of funny is that my evil Obi-Wan, of course, it looks like Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Sure.
He's wearing the Jedi robes, but he's like running through the academy, the Sith Academy, and it looks really funny, because
Right.
like
Everyone else is in black,
academy.
and
yeah, everyone's all evil and stuff, and he's like run out. And of course, his mount is a Varactyl, so
Right.
from behind it
Yeah.
looks like
Because
the chicken lizard, I call it.
yeah, we love those.
But it's it's pretty
And
funny.
are you going to have him show the dark side corruption as he goes dark, or
Nope. No.
Okay.
I don't like the dark side corruption, because it has this animation on the face that goes right, below the
lips?
the edges of your mouth,
Okay.
of the mouth, and it looks like a ventriloquist dummy to me,
Ah,
and I can't get over it. I don't know, but so I usually keep it off. Although he does have Sith eyes, so
I gave him like red or yellow eyes, like the orangey
yeah, I gave him
eyes.
yellow eyes.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's got scarification on his face. So,
Oh, cool.
He's evil.
That sounds awesome.
And I'm romancing Ashara for the first time that I can remember.
Nice.
I don't know what's going to happen, but with the romance date night stuff going on, I figure I should try and get
All
the
of them
majority
done.
of those
Yeah.
set up, so that I can.
So you can do them at some point. It makes
yeah, I
sense.
can do it at some
And you've got your spreadsheet, so you're not going to have to look all over to figure out who's got what.
I do. I have a category that's just romance. So, yeah.
Nice.
I'll know what's going on.
I'm going to have to look all over, I'm afraid.
When the date night happened,
Mm-hmm.
I actually used my spreadsheets to see who was romancing who, and just went and did it.
Yeah.
It was
Makes it easy.
very, very, very convenient.
Preparation makes it work. It's nice. It's nice.
Lastly, I took advantage of the deco sale that's happening.
Right. It is still
on the
happening.
cartel
Yeah.
market. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's still happening. So I mean, if they're going to keep it up, usually on that sale tab on the cartel market, it's been going for a week.
Yeah.
This one seems to be going for 2 weeks.
It does.
So-
yeah, I checked it like just yesterday, I believe, after the weekly reset. So it should still be there.
Yeah, I bought a couple things again
Nice.
today, but I got my my Sith Academy finished, or close to being finished. And some of the stuff is just, man, it's so cheap. It's 90% off. I guess I had the fear of missing out. I can't not get that thing.
Yeah, I should probably look a little bit more closely, because I mostly just looked for things that I absolutely hadn't had before or whatever. Right. And because there's one called a beach ball, and that was on sale for like 80 or 90% off, that I went ahead and grabbed just to see.
I thought it was interactive, but it's not.
I know, that's what I thought too. I thought, oh, that could be interactive, like maybe maybe your character throws the ball or gets knocked away or something, but no, it's just there. Although to be fair, it's, even though it's called beach ball, it's clearly like metal that's painted. It's like, you wouldn't actually want to try to kick it. You'd definitely break your foot.
That's funny. I thought the same thing.
It looks more like a sea mine.
It does.
Painted like it's painted like a beach ball.
Yeah. What was I going to say? There's a okay, that's what I want to say. So when you go up to the cartel market, they have the sale tab, right?
Okay.
You pop into there, and then there's another pull down tab that goes, you can look at the things that are on sale via their price.
Okay.
And it will start at the lowest.
Price. Nice.
And go to the highest. And some of those lowest things that are 90% off are awesome. And they're only 15 cartel coins. So
I'll have to check that out then. Yeah, I would definitely miss out if I'm not grabbing those.
Getting some stuff that way. But yeah, it's there's some really, really cool stuff. So check it out if you guys haven't. It's fun. And you can save some credits, or you could sell it on the cartel market later, or whatever it is you want to do with it. But that's it for me, Chill. I will pass the SWTOR Space Beach Ball D-Mine off to you now.
Very nice. Thank you. Let's see. Japeo, I see, and JD have already chatted. And let's see who else is on. Elijah Vade TV, Altul, Immortalized Love, Jedi Knight 1, Nanders, Professor Darth Yoda, and Squishy Twitchy are all showing up here. And thanks everyone for being here. And yeah, so lots of PvP with you. It's been a lot of fun. Still looking forward to getting the operatives up further. We really are close to where we're going to be like really sort of powerful, and we're doing fine as it is. Like I feel like we, generally speaking, and especially on these characters, tend to punch above our weight a little bit anyway. Just because we've been doing a lot of PvP recently. We sort of know what's up. We know how to handle different arenas and different how war zones and stuff like that. I definitely feel we're contributing even when we're a little lower, and we're just about to get to the part where we're going to start hitting pretty hard, so that'll be a lot of fun. But yes, as you said, I did prep my next PvP character, and I did Juliet Starling, aka Lollipop Chainsaw. And so she's going to be a Guardian tank. She's doing the consular story, so still Republic side, but as a Guardian tank. And I'm using like the big, I can't remember quite the name of it, but it does look a fair bit and sounds a fair bit like a chainsaw, because has this really grungy noise when you swing it. And it looks kind of like a machete, but with a bunch of holes in it. So it looks a lot like her machete, or like her chainsaw rather. So pretty cool. And I'm just got her ready to go. She's just at level 17 end, of course. And so it's all good to go. Did my hardcore character Jade a fair bit, and RIP, she is now dead. Unfortunately, she made it all the way through early Kotfi, got to level 69. I was hoping she'd get to level 70, because of course then you can go to Osis and get some really good gear. She got offed by a very regular, I wish it was like a boss fight or something exciting. It was just this normal group of critters that happened to crit a lot and just hit her really hard. I used a health pack, kept fighting. I was getting low, they were getting low, and I thought, okay, I should be able to take these guys out. I should have been more conservative and used a couple of other cooldowns beyond the health pack. They got me, and that was it. So she's done.
Damn.
Yeah, I felt really sad too. It was like, such a bummer. It was actually right at the beginning of the chapter, right at the beginning of the stream too. So I didn't have any other ideas of what to do. Because like I was planning, okay, it's like, okay, so today, okay, I'll do a few chapters on Jade, and that'll fill the time. And nope, had to figure out something else. So
what chapter were you in again?
Which one? Remember? It was about 4 or 5. It was like when you're in the you've just found the
swamp.
You're in the swamp and you've just found the whatever, and you haven't lifted it up from the muck yet. The gravestone.
Gravestone.
Yeah, you found the gravestone, but you haven't lifted it up yet, and you're doing all the stuff to sort of get ready to do that. And yeah, it was just a regular ass group of like 5 or 6 critters, and they just crit the ever loving shit out of me. And I popped a health pack, kept fighting, and I thought, well, I'm pretty low, but how bad can this get? And then immediately they crit me again, and down she went. It was really dumb. I really should have just vanished or you popped another couple of cooldowns. She was she was a shadow backstab spec, and their cooldowns are very shit, like very, very weak cooldowns. You have no self-healing really, other than the health pack, so I could have taken a little damage reduction, or I did have my because I was level 69, so I did have the thing that'll give you some force and tech protection, but not really against just like regular hits. So there's, other than like vanishing and then restarting the fight, I don't know what else I could have done, but it was dumb. I really should have done something else anyway. So it was pretty rough. I felt really very sad. I was very bummed about it. She probably would have gotten to level 80 if I'd just gotten another, because at the beginning of the stream she was like maybe a quarter of the way into level 69, and by that time she was like probably 45% of the way through the level. Another half a level, she would have dinged 70. I would have gotten Osa's gear, and she probably would have gone all the way to 80 at that point, because you really start hitting hard with the Osa's gear. And then level 75 you also get the tactical, which really hits hard on that spec. Well, so she's gone.
And you get the levels from 70 to 80 go a lot faster.
Sort of, although because I was doing the chapters, it was going to go kind of slowly, but I would have been able to do a lot of damage, and it would have just been a lot better. Anyway, so because I died so early in the stream, I just kind of dinked around. I was looking to maybe make a character from the boys, but I tried actually 4 different ones: Butcher, Homelander, Starlight, Kimiko. I wasn't really happy with how they looked, though. I couldn't get as close as I liked to for any of them, especially for like something like that, where, and then it's like what specs should they be? Stuff like that was sort of an issue as well. But Butcher and Kimiko, you can get kind of close, so I might revisit that at some point.
That's who I was thinking.
Yeah, I was having a real hard time like matching Homelander and Starlight, because they have very specific looks that are not quite duplicatable. You can get in the ballpark. I could do one and just say, call this one Homelander and call it good, but it would have been, it wasn't quite, wasn't blowing my skirt up, so I moved on.
Mother's milk.
Yeah, so last night, this is all like yesterday, so last night I was like, well, I guess I gotta make a new character then. So I made Frank Drebin from Police Squad and Naked Gun, as played by the legendary Leslie Nielsen, and so I made him an agent with merc abilities. I could have done, I know he only uses one gun, and but I didn't want him to be short range like an operative or a power tech, so I went with merc abilities for fun. And I did do it on Starforge, because I figure I haven't actually done this year yet what I usually do when the nightlife event comes, and that's do some leveling up while also doing the nightlife event. Like just do some PvP, while waiting for the queues, just hang around and pull some slots. And I haven't really done that yet, so I figured, okay, well, it's time to do that. We can do that with Frank Drebin for fun. I'll probably do some. I know. Because you have the white hair, and there's one of those haircuts that's like really conservative haircut, like he has. I'm pretty happy. This is the first time I've ever done this. His level 1 look is going to be his main look. I actually made the outfit out of his level 1 look. So it's just the regular ass pistols that you get at level 1. And the regular outfit you get at level 1, because it looks sort of formal like he wears, but it's very basic, like he also wears. And there's really no like coat and tie in the game. That's not a look they've ever put in SWTOR. It's just not Star Warsy enough, I guess. So he just has sort of this very, very, very straightforward look, and he'll stick with that. And the only change I made is that once I hit level 10, I put in some black color crystals so that when he shoots, it looks less like blaster bullets and more like regular bullets. Yeah, this is something I've done before too.
A slug thrower.
More of a slug thrower. Yeah, exactly. I love that old-fashioned sci-fi term for it. Yeah, slug thrower. And so hopefully we'll be able to get the new helmet at some point. We'll see. We'll have some fun. I'll probably do, like in past years when I've done it, I've tend to I try to really stick to my guns, but I know that that's going to get really dull if I try to do that too much. So what I'll probably do is mix it up. I'll do some of the story, while queuing, but then while still queuing, I will then, go and visit the Nar Shaddaa nightlife. And it's a lot of fun, actually. So basically the idea is like whenever I'm choosing to, anything that's like not secret is basically anything you can do to make it like more public and more loud and more dumb. We will try. It's a little hard because it's the agent's story, but it's already kind of fun. And I'm having a ball with it already, so it'll be good.
It's funny, when I rated you today, I saw your title and I was like, Frank Drebin.
Yeah.
And I didn't believe it at first. It's kind of like, and then I went, okay, I know he does stuff. And then I thought maybe there's another Frank Drebin. And then when your game loaded in and you're on your speeder, I saw gray hair and I was like, oh man, that's funny.
That's the only speeder he uses is the cop car. It's a Zerka Enforcer, and it literally has the cherry on top. And so a lot of times I'm just running around places because everyone loves that gag they do where you follow
Police Squad
in color and it's and you just follow the little cherry flashing on up roller coasters and inside buildings and stuff like that.
In the shower room.
Yeah, it's fun. So anyway, so that's good. And there we go. I'll be doing that, and obviously not hardcore when you're doing PvP. So we'll just level him up, and that'll be fun.
That's going to be
and that's when I'm not with you. Yeah.
Because when you notice a name that's really good, or a cosplay that's really good, I always try to take the time and be like, oh, that's great.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah,
getting Frank Drebin, anybody even getting that reference these days that's gonna feel good when someone goes, I like that. That's funny.
All right, so let's see, that'll bring us to the tip of the week. I just have a quick tip. So because based on a conversation I had on my stream, your UI, remember that it's customizable. So for example, if the text in your cutscenes is too small for you to read, you can expand it. If you don't like the placement of something, you can move it. A lot of things can be turned off if you never see them or just don't want to see them. Like I never really use my 6th action bar, so I actually turned that one off. There's no point in me seeing an empty action bar that I'm not using. I can always turn it on on a character if I really feel the need to, but usually I can keep it down. And I do use the 5th action bar, and I just keep that off to the side, but I don't really use the 6th. I just keep that one turned off. And of course, if you haven't tried out the new map settings, definitely try that out. So you can try switching between the mini map or the full map on the screen, that you can either center on your character, or you can have your character be shown as an arrow that runs around the map. Both are pretty cool, actually. And you can swap it out whatever you need to for the mini map too. There's a little gizmo on your little mini bar, your little mini action bar, that you can do to swap between those two if you want. So yeah, just a quick reminder that that is possible. If you're new to the game, definitely check it out. It's you kind of hit the escape, gives you some options, and there's an interface editor, and it's fun to play around with. There's also and it's still alive as far as I know. There's a website that kind of has UIs that people have uploaded as well. You can either...
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, and exactly. And you can either make a new one for every character, or you can just kind of like, once you have one that you like, you sort of save it. And if you make a new character, you can actually load that UI from the old character and use it on the new one as well. So lots of good options there to take advantage of. And that's the tip of the week. If you have a tip of the week, send it to ootinicast@gmail.com before the next show to win a Talonfon M83R droid or M2B9 droid code plus a 450cc code. And that's all courtesy of Broadsword. Thank you, guys.
Get in there with those tips, you guys. You can win 450 cartel coins.
It's easy CC money.
Easy.
All right, that brings us to the Mind Trap, though. Now there's 4 events, one for each season. And what's your favorite SWTOR seasonal event? So, what were they? Well, they're the 4 events, of course. Dantooine Spring Abundance Festival, Nar Shaddaa Nightlife, Feast of Prosperity, or Life Day. And we got a pretty good amount of votes, over 200 votes. And thank you, everyone, for voting and reposting and all that. There was a couple of extra votes on the Mastodon version of the poll as well. They happened to be for Nar Shaddaa Nightlife, but they didn't really move the needle, really. So the winner was Life Day, but not by much, 35.8%. So Life Day won out. Nar Shaddaa Nightlife, just behind it, actually, at 34%. You could argue that, because that's the ongoing one, that maybe it was a little bit tip of mind for people, but I don't think necessarily that's the case. But it's certainly an argument you can make. It's always tricky when you come to polls like these. There's always, things that bump the numbers around. Dantooine Spring Abundance Festival was third, a fairly distant third. So where we had 35.8% for Life Day, just behind that at 34% was Nar Shaddaa Nightlife. Pretty good drop off though for Dantooine Spring Abundance Festival, 20.8%. That's for the new kid on the block. Dantooine Spring Abundance Festival just had its first one this year. And then Feast of Prosperity, which is the second newest, but it's been around a few years now, 9.4%, unfortunately in fourth place. However, this poll did more or less finish up right around the time that the dev stream came out, and they let us know that some new Feast of Prosperity things would be coming up for the next one. So who knows, that people might be more interested in that once that comes around. We'll talk about that more in the news section. Now, I happen to vote for Nar Shaddaa Nightlife. Kitty, for me, I like Life Day as well. I thought the Spring Abundance Festival was a lot of fun too, and I actually enjoyed the story involved with it. Feast of Prosperity is probably my fourth, least interested one as well. But I actually voted for the Nar Shaddaa Nightlife, and I kind of had to, because when I thought about what my favorite is, it's part of me wants to say Life Day because it's sort of a very Star Warsy thing to do. But when it comes down to the end of the day, what do I actually spend the most time over the course of a year doing? It's the Nightlife one. I really do that one quite a bit more, and I tend to put out more effort, and I level characters around it and stuff like that. So I had to vote for that one. How about you?
Same with me. Exactly. I love Life Day. I teetered in between Life Day and Nar Shaddaa Nightlife because, Life Day comes around the holidays.
Yeah.
I like the holidays, and usually that is when the half off sale happens, but that's not part of Nightlife.
Right.
That just happens to be part of something that isn't part of the actual event itself. So I went over to Nightlife because I tend to do that one more.
Right.
Just it's almost verbatim with what you said.
Yeah.
I spend more time in the casino, dorking around, getting that stuff, running the little missions on a couple characters, and trying to win the headset or the new helmet.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Nar Shaddaa Nightlife, that was it for me too.
Yeah, it looks like Kitty Treats actually prefers Raccoons and Swoop events, so not the seasonal events, but the just the recurring events, which is cool. But obviously since there was 4 seasonal events, we just went for with that one for the polls. So we were strictly sticking to the seasonal for the poll. But yeah, I think a lot of people do like some of the recurring events. The Rat Ghoul event is certainly a Jar Jar Joyride popular event, and
it's live now.
Yeah, and that's right. Speaking of, do you have plans to do the Loken run this time?
I don't think so. We've been real life's been a little wonky, so I think committing to something is a little beyond my
no worries. All right,
my abilities, but who knows? Maybe.
Yep. Yeah, and let's see. Let me see if there's anything. Let's see. Shintar said, "Tough one. Life Day is still my favorite for how chill it is, though Spring Abundance is a close second with its fun activities. Feast of Prosperity also has a lot going for it, though. Nightlife is my least favorite because it's just about spinning slots." Which is kind of true, although there is some story and some missions that you can do, but it is definitely more about the actual event of going there and pulling the slots than it is about doing missions and getting story and stuff like that.
Right.
Let's see. Noel said, "It used to be Nightlife as my favorite, but this year's changes aren't doing it for me, so I'd say Feast of Prosperity because I enjoy the world boss groups that come out of it." And it's true. There's a lot of grouping up for the world bosses during Feast of Prosperity. I like the chill vibes of Dantooine and throwing snowballs too, so they all serve a fun purpose. All right. And Kitty likes hugging the Wookiees. Nice.
That is kind of fun.
Yeah, that'll bring us to the Hollow feed, I think, then. And let's see. So we had a dev live stream. This was just yesterday, so good timing on that. It's coincidental, of course, but there was pretty good chunk of people, about 1,050 people watching at the start of the stream, about 1,400 around the time of the recap at the end. And there's quite a bit going on. They kept it pretty simple in terms of who was on it. There weren't any extra devs that came along. It was just, for the most part, it was just Jackie and Eric, but they did have Ashley Rule for one segment. But there was no extra bit where people were talking about behind the scenes or what do I do on the dev team. They kept it pretty straightforward because there was a fair bit to go through. So, all right. So Twitch drops coming. So what that is basically if you connect your account on SWTOR.com, if you connect your Twitch account, letting them know on SWTOR.com, you log into SWTOR.com into your account, there'll be a little Twitch connection button. Essentially, you click on it. And basically, in my case, it just asked me, do you want to connect your account? And I just confirmed yes, and then it was done. I think that was because in that version of the browser I was using, I was already logged in on my chill room stream one, because I need to be anyway when I'm running my stream. I have to be logged in anyway, so I just stay logged in all the time. So I'm sure that's why it sort of picked that one up and just kind of confirmed that I wanted it. If you haven't logged in, it probably has a way to ask you. I would guess it almost have to ask you okay, what is your account, and probably ask you to log in or something like that. But in my case, because I was already logged in on that version, it just asked me, do you want to connect it? I did. It did it, and then I actually went back to the button and clicked it again to see what would happen. And in that case, it just tells you this is you've successfully connected it. This is the name of the account, and it even gave me the little picture that I had of for Children's Stream, which is my little logo. It's all set up and ready to go. How about you, Kitty? Have you?
I'm looking at it right now.
Okay.
I'm like, oh crap! I don't think I've done any of that.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward, and I'm sure you're probably logged in on that browser as well. So it'll probably just say ready. You want it ready to go, and it'll just connect you to whatever one you're logged into on that version of the browser. So in this case, I was already using Chrome, so I used Chrome again. If I had logged in using my Firefox, into SWTOR.com, then it probably would have actually connected me to Ootinicast because I'm logged into Ootinicast on Firefox. To keep it simple, I kind of do that sort of thing. So anyway, it doesn't really do too much at the moment, so you have time to actually get this get this connection if you want to. It's really to prepare for 751, which was the main thing that they're doing in this dev stream and talking about in this dev stream. So once 7.5.1 goes live, then the Twitch drops are also set to go live. At that point, then you watch some Twitch streams. I'm not sure of all the details. I think it can be anything. I don't think it has to be like a SWTOR stream specifically. But in it, or maybe it does though. I haven't actually been able to confirm that. Okay, you think it does? I haven't actually seen anything that says that. Okay.
I think I remember hearing
that it needs to
say
be
something about it.
Okay, so it should. Okay, so
that's how it works on other stuff.
Okay, so that probably makes sense. So presumably you watch a few hours of SWTOR streams, and then it will unlock the first. Right. And right now it's the only benefit bonus, which is like a speeder. It's a let's see if I can. I know they wrote it. I think I wrote it down what it was called, but for some reason I can't find it at the moment. There it is, Orlean Voidstream Mount. Right. There are other Orleans in the game. This one has sort of a pink and purple theme, and the pink parts are also holographic, which I think is pretty untypical of the Orlean. I don't think there's a lot of.
That is correct.
Yeah, holographic Orleans in the game. There are different colors of it, but yeah, nothing that's quite this fancy looking. It really looks nice too. So I'm looking forward to that. No idea whether it will work if, like day one when I'm like running my own stream, if that will actually count, or if I'm going to.
Yeah, I was curious about that too.
I guess we'll find out, Or,
we'll find out.
It'll either work or it won't. And then I'm sure it's the sort of thing that'll just get sent to all your characters. I can't imagine it working any other way anyway.
Like you get it via your mail or something like that.
Yeah, I'm sure that's going to, that's how it's going to be. Anyway, so once they talked about that a little bit, then Jackie went off and they brought on Ashley along with Eric to talk about the 7.51 game update content. The next season is going to be called The Greatest Bounty. It's going to come out when 751 drops, which seems to be late August. They were not, going to commit to a specific date, but that seems to be correct. And if I had to guess, I would say late August, because we're still in the current season. There's still like 1 week left. It's going to end right around, August 1st. So it makes sense that there'd be a few weeks in between, and that it would presumably be towards the 2nd of August, but I guess we'll see. So this one's called The Greatest Bounty, and Bounty Contract Week will be enabled for the entirety of the season. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, if you either really like Bounty Contract Week, or if you haven't really done it, but you'd like to get some of the rewards from Bounty Contract Week. For example, there's a couple of die modules that it takes like 50 of them. It takes a fair number of them to actually get enough to do them. Yep. If you need those die module for your die crafter to get, this would be a perfect time to do it, because there's going to be a whole season's worth when Bounty Contract Week will be available and ready to do.
And you can do that on each of your characters. So
exactly,
you can get one of those currencies per character that you run the missions on.
Right.
And you could stack it up pretty quick.
Yeah, if you do it that way, it does stack up pretty quickly. They did say that Bounty Contract Week is sort of a special thing, but regular conquest is going to happen as usual. There's also going to be some extra story involved, so you're going to meet with Kantek Bren of the Bounty Broker Association. So
nice.
We haven't done a lot. Yeah, I mean, there's a kind of a breadcrumb for the event.
Yeah.
And you do talk a little bit to whoever the people are who are asking for the bounties and so on. Mm-hmm. So there's some story with the regular bounties as well, but now it sounds like there's going to be some sort of specific story for the season.
That's cool.
Involving the Bounty Broker Association, which we haven't really had. Like we've done all these bounties through them and for them, but we haven't actually like really talked with them. We don't really know much about like right. The politics of them, or like what they're after, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think this is a great idea, because they're taking something, an event in the game, and that's been around for a long time, that we've been doing for many, many years, and they're adding to it, which I think is a great idea, because they're putting more story into that. So I like the idea that it'll mean more later on down the road.
Exactly. Yeah. It just won't be like, oh, that's
it is
just
again.
The person we need to breadcrumb. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. one of the other things that there's going to be on during the season is that they're going to turn the Dark versus Light event bosses.
Ooh.
Yeah, so the Dark versus Light event was like 2017, so that's quite a while ago. It involved more than the bosses, but the bosses are the main thing that's returning. Plus, they will drop light and dark side tokens, and then the token vendors will be there, and so you can actually get some of the things that you couldn't get for a long time because of that. So they're not bringing back the entire Dark versus Light event, but they're bringing back the Dark versus Light bosses. And then you'll also be able to get certain Dark versus Light side vendor rewards. So
Some of those are cool.
Yeah, exactly. So you kill a dark boss, you'll get light side points. You kill a light boss, you'll get dark side points. And it wasn't clear. Like, I remember during the Dark versus Light side event, there were lots of ways that you could get dark and light side points beyond the boss killing. That was kind of like the easy or the most lucrative way was to do that, but there was other ways too. But because they're only bringing back the bosses, this, as far as we can tell, this is the only way to actually get light and dark side points. Yeah, and they're also world bosses that we haven't seen since then. So there's a lot of AoE and stuff involved with them. They have some AoE stuns and some AoE damage and stuff like that.
When you see them, do not attack them by yourself.
Yes.
You will die.
No, exactly. They're designed for either 8 or 16 players, or 8 to 16, because I think you can do it with a partial 13 or 14 player group, that sort of thing. Hoth, Tatooine, the capital worlds of Dromund and Coruscant, and Alderaan. That's going to be where the bosses can show up. And there's like a series of different ones. They have different cool names and stuff like that too. I'm not sure if there's any achievements for like killing all of the named bosses, but there might be.
Yeah, I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Also, I wonder if they're going to be spawning in the same spots that they were before.
Yeah, I would assume they would, but who knows?
Yeah, I would too. But what's funny is that the Dromund one of those DVL bosses, is right in one of the heroics for your weeklies and dailies. And back in the day, I used to group up with people to do it, and you get some randoms, and one of the people in your group's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go take on that guy that's standing right there," and I'm like, "No, don't touch him." Wipe the entire group.
Yep.
So yeah, get a group together, more than 4 people for sure.
Right. They did show some of the things that would be on the rewards track for the season. So the Brynjack leather armor and Superior Hunter armor, which are basically 2 slightly different versions. Like the Superior one is a little fancier with like these little fur fringes and stuff like that. Yeah, and the Furious or Temperamental Brynjack mounts. So the Brynjack leather armor, it comes apparently from a kind of critter called a Brynjack, and it's a very aggressive looking mount.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like it'd be a lot of fun. And then there's a bunch of new weapons as well. There's also going to be a white Lothcat kitten pet. So if you like the Lothcats, there's one in the game now. Now there will be 2. This one is like a kind of white Persian style. And there's also going to be a Bessie variant. So if you've been unlocking Bessie, then there's going to be, and once you get her fully unlocked, there's going to be a variation that you can plug in to make her look different, which is pretty cool. I didn't mention that during my week, but once a week I try to, before the reset, I try to make sure, this is off stream, but I try to make sure to do that a little bit on my main, and I'm on level 6. I'm not as far as some people have gotten. Some people have basically gotten to where they can unlock it, and you have to have really gone all out to have gotten there, though. It's really difficult to do that. So lots of good stuff, it looks like, in the upcoming season. Again, that's going to be when 751 drops. And again, we don't know the exact date, but it seems to be probably late August, and we'll find out more specifically later on. I don't believe they mentioned anything about a test server. I haven't seen any posts about it, nor did I hear about it during the live stream. So I don't think they're doing a test server in this case.
I don't think they are.
Yeah, so we'll just kind of keep our eyes open for when they do the drop for 751. Feast of Prosperity is coming in the fall again, of course. There are going to be new rewards. The Regal Chandelier Vessel Deco, which was really cool. They actually showed it as a video because it's like this cool like chandelier. It has like some metal bits, but it's holding up a big glass, sort of circular glass, almost like a bowl, and it's filled with like this glowing it's filled with like this glowing sort of sparkly misty stuff. It's very cool looking. Definitely check that out. You can actually go to twitch.tv/swotor, and the first video that shows us available is the last dev stream, and you can check it out. So yeah, it's actually really, really pretty. There's also a regal banquet table, a grill bar, a banquet rug, and grill bar stool deco. So lots of sort of food-related decos coming up. Then they talked about date night. So we had 4 date nights already. That was they did those 4 because they were the ones that every character has access to. So they did those first. So that's Lana, Theron, Arkin, and Koth. So everyone can have those as their romance if they made the right choices to do that. And they all had their own different date nights, and those are repeatable dates that you can do. Like even if you've done them before, they're repeatable weekly. You can go back to your ship, pick up the mission again, and go on the date again. And if you do that often enough, then there are like some achievements and stuff like that attached to them. So now they're going to have, and they did at the time that they did the original date night, they said that, well, we're looking at every time there's going to be a new season, we want to have at least 1 or 2 more date nights coming back along with it. So they did that. And in this case, they chose 2, and they got Eric Jorgen and Vet. So they have, of course, that involves, bringing back the voice actors and all that good stuff. So this is always tricky. So they chose Eric Jorgen, and it's going to have sort of a target practice-y sort of date of some sort. And with Vet, it's going to be some sort of heist. So they wouldn't give us too many other details, but I love those both as thematically for those characters. Especially the heist one sounds like fun.
Yeah, the heist sounds pretty funny.
I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do with that. They did. I think they did a good choice. These are both well-known characters. 1 Republic, 1 Empire, 1 male, 1 female, 1 tech, 1 force using character classes. So pretty good. Obviously they can't, if they're only bringing 1 or 2 back, then they can't bring everyone's favorite back at once. But these are pretty good choices, and it also makes
that Kim Vol.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people were saying that in the chat. Bring back, I want my Kim Vol romance date night.
I did romance him on 1.
Yeah.
Was it Kim Vol or was it the other one?
It's Kim. Yeah, it's not
Kim
Kaizen.
Vol. Yes, yeah.
It's not Kaizen. Yeah, it's Kim.
Because I remember, in the cutscene where you're romancing, I'm like, watch those teeth.
Yeah. It's weird. It's weird.
It's really
it's very weird.
It's like he's got that, Beavis underbite, and he's all.
I think another reason that they probably brought those 2 back is because they're ones that have had like ongoing importance to the story. Eric has a whole chapter devoted to, you go out and you recruit him. Same with Vet, Profit and Plunder.
Right.
There's a whole chapters, and then of course there's further stuff later on where there's further conversations with both of those characters, regardless of whether they're part of your class story or not. So everyone's sort of seen these characters a lot, and they've been sort of important to the story. So it makes sense that they'd be among the first ones brought back.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, and they did say that if you do it multiple times, and again, this is a weekly thing, then there are achievements, and you can get a title, achievement, and also a unique deco. And I have no idea what the deco is, but I'm sure it'll relate to the date night in some way. So that'll be interesting. So yeah. They did talk about new things coming to the cartel market, Imperial Commando armor, which is kind of cool. It's a sort of very classic look, and it has it's a very sort of typical commando Imperial side look to it, sort of dark gray. And this one, it's nice because it had something on the back, but it wasn't a giant backpack. So, it's kind of nice that it's like a little more subtle.
It looks like the VIP collector's edition vendor armor set.
Okay.
It's a bit like that.
Oh yes, I know what I know the one you're talking about. I finally did break down and buy the vendor unlock, so I actually do have access to that now. So yes, it's sort of that very, very typical Imperial Commando look, but a little nicer. Like it's a little fancier looking. It's going to be a nice version of it. Then they have a couple of dual sabers based on Star Wars Visions as a starting point. There's the Lotus Blade lightsaber and dual saber, and a Burning Embers lightsaber plus dual saber. And they also did 2 tunings, and they're sort of similar. One's the Scattered Blossoms tuning and the Embers tuning. And then they showed how it doesn't change the blade itself too much, but instead the Scattered Blossoms has sort of like cherry blossom petals coming down around your character, and the Embers has embers falling down around your character. Pretty cool.
I like that Embers one.
Yeah. We've seen this a little bit before. For example, in the holiday one, you can get a holiday sort of tuning, and it actually creates a little snowfall effect around your character. It also creates like a little fog around your feet too.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. It's funny.
I didn't notice anything like that for the Scattered Blossoms or Embers one, but it looks really cool. And they also showed what it looks like if you have both, if you're dual wield and you have an Embers one and a Blossom one, and both the Embers and the Blossoms are coming down.
Yeah.
It's really funny.
Yeah.
But it was pretty cool. And let's see. Then they talked about gearing adjustments. So they're apparently not upgrading, like it's not going above 340. It's been at 340 for a little while. But instead of bumping that up to 346 or whatever it would be, they're actually changing. They're adjusting how the gearing adjustment is doing. So in other words, there's going to be some upgrade caches or you can take currency. So when you finish a weekly mission for, say, doing story operations, daily heroic areas, or veteran or master flashpoints, you can either get the currency, which is kind of what we're used to, or there can be upgrade caches. So presumably that would mean like you could open it, it would give you an upgrade to one of your pieces of gear. We'll see how that works. We don't really know. We know also, though, they did mention that you can gather multiples of lower version ones and then get higher, get upgraded caches as well that will give you like better gear in some way.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, we don't know exactly all the details. They're coming out with a report, but they were sort of at the dev stream. They were just kind of like giving us the basics of how it was going to work. There's going to be an increased repeatability of weekly missions for flashpoints, dailies and heroics, and story ops. So you can do those a little bit more, which is cool, as well as increase the weekly progress of the currency caps for flashpoints and operations, which I think makes sense. Yeah, to me that makes sense. Like on the stream, like someone had just like leveled up their first 80 and they were curious about how to gear, and I said, well, you can do all these different ways, but and I find that doing solo stuff actually works the best just because you can keep going. It's like with the flashpoints you kind of run out of options to do, and then you have to you kind of have to do other stuff to sort of fill in. But yeah, with increasing the currency caps for flashpoints and operations, if that's your favorite way to do it, you'll be able to do it more and won't be shunted off into doing solo stuff if that's not your thing, which is cool.
Yeah. It's funny, I have hundreds, I have a bunch of OP catalysts, and I have not run an operation in years. So you do get them.
Right. So like when you break apart drops that you get out in the field, sometimes they happen to be the style for war zones or flashpoints or operations, and you'll get those, a little bit of those. You won't get very much. It's only 3 or 6 points per piece or whatever like that. It's pretty low, but they do build up over time. So even if you're not doing any, you can still get them, and then you can either go and get gear, but you can also switch over and change them to other types of currency if you prefer as well. So we already talked about the upgrade of the caches, so we'll move on to So then there was some 7.6 teases, and so one of the things they talked about was the Firebolt Edition bundle. So recently they had the first bundle where you could actually buy something that would actually let your character mount up at level 1. They're going to do that again with the Firebolt Edition bundle. The Vectron 240R Firebolt mount is level 1 and apparently has a quick burst mode of when you first mount up on it. I don't know how much faster that would be, but it sounds interesting, and it was a very cool mount, very sort of full-throated, that sort of heavy engine sound to it.
Yeah, it sounds like a muscle car.
Right. It's not cheap, but there's other things in this bundle as well. It's basically $100. It's $99.99, so it's $100 essentially. 100, but it includes also beyond the Firebolt mount, which would be sent to every character, of course, I'm sure. That's also 180 days sub, so that's almost half a year of sub time, plus 5,500 cartel coins. And in addition, every character will also be sent 5 primary metallic red and 5 primary metallic red and 5 secondary metallic red dyes. And then they showed how those dyes work.
Yeah,
pretty cool. The metallic ones are really fun. It's something that's relatively new to the game, so it still has a lot of novelty to it. Primary, meaning it's only going to be the primary red, and it'll leave whatever the secondary color is alone. Vice versa for the secondary. So there's lots of interesting things that can happen when you do that.
Oh yeah.
They showed a couple of examples in the dev stream. I'm thinking that those could be really fun and useful. I'm definitely going to go for this when it becomes available. I think, is that did they say July 30th? Is that, I think that was the date that they said that hopefully the bundle's coming out alive. Yeah. So that's
the
only
last day of the month?
It's basically a week away. It's also the end of the current galactic season. So if you are working on the current galactic season, especially if you're very close to the end, because there's a lot of good things on those last 2 pages, and especially the last page of the galactic season, definitely try to finish it up if you can. So we're on the last week of the galactic season, and then when July 30th hits, then I believe that's when the Firebolt Edition bundle comes live. So again, that's $99.99. 180 days sub, 5,500 cartel coins, a Firebolt mount for every character that you can mount up with level 1, even if you haven't gotten the the training, and primary metallic and secondary metallic dyes, 5 each per character. So that's plenty. I know you're going to be using those. Yeah, I know you're going to be using that with your hard mode or nightmare mode, Space Barbie. Yeah. So really cool.
Yeah, I don't know. It's $100 is a lot of money, and
it is. But
I pay my sub annually, so I probably have to stop my annual sub because this is 180 days. That's 6 months, right?
Yeah. Well, it'll just push out the day that you need to pay again. So that's what I'm planning on doing. Just kind of letting it happen.
Oh, is that how it works? It'll just push that.
It'll just push it out another 180 days. Yeah, I won't try to double it up or anything. Yeah. So yeah.
All right, maybe. I say I don't know, but that I need that mount.
Yeah. The funny thing is, if you're willing to pay for 180 days of sub and some cartel coins, you're pretty much at $100 value anyway in terms of what it would normally cost. So at that point, the Firebolt mount, and the all the dyes kind of become just kind of added on top of that. So I'm definitely going to do that.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be really cool. One thing that happened that came out, the couple things came out after the dev stream yesterday. A couple of people have fully unlocked Bessie now. That means you can also unlock Bessie for your whole account. So once you have it unlocked on one character, then you can do an unlock that will unlock it for everyone. It was supposed to be 10 cc's. However, it was unfortunately set at 600 cc's. So first of all, First of all, they've updated it back to the 10 cc's that it was supposed to be, but also anyone who actually did pay the 600 cc cost will be refunded the 590 difference. So yeah. So once you
waiting for.
Right, and so once you unlock Bessie, you only have to do it once, and then you're good to go. You can unlock it for your whole account for 10 cc's, and even if all you're doing is adding a security thing to your account, you've got 100 cc's. So that's easy. Let's see. There's a little bit more information on the gearing changes from Bryant Wood. It really gets into the weeds. It's really difficult to talk about on a podcast.
Yeah.
But it gave us some ideas. For example, the Flashpoint stabilizer cap is going to go up to 4,000 from 3,000. And the operations one is going to go up to 3,000 from 2,000. So that's for the weekly progress. When it comes to the caches, you're generally going to need 3 to trade up for 1 of the upgraded caches. Exactly, though, like what's going to be in those caches, we're not 100% sure. I mean, obviously, it's supposed to be some sort of gearing update, but we'll have to figure it out. It's a little tricky to know all, to understand all these details. But
it could change too. So
yeah, exactly. So Flashpoint weekly missions can now be completed 4 times per week. Daily and heroic missions completed 3 times a week, and story operation missions 4 times per week. Yeah, the daily and heroic missions 3 times a week. That's a lot of dailies you can do. Like even if you only have one character at endgame on, and you're just trying to, like you're not an alt person like myself or Kitty. If you're just doing like one character, at least that'll help, so you can pick your favorite dailies and heroics and do those 3 times a week instead of running out after, I think it's usually 2, right? So
I think it's 2 or 3.
Or it's maybe? 1 for the weekly, but you can do the dailies a little bit more. Anyway, it's up to 3 times a week. Sorry, we did not say that very well.
It's
more.
It's not user friendly.
It's very tricky to get to understand all these outside of actually just kind of seeing it in game. But we get the idea.
It's all good though. I mean, I think that these additions are going to be beneficial. Overall, it's going to be good for the game.
Right.
I'm a big fan of whenever you can take soloable currency and turn it into, group content. Currency. I think that's a great thing.
Right. Let's see. So in addition, there were some Steam issues last Friday and also last Saturday. People were having troubles at first getting some things that they paid for on Steam, or on Saturday logging into the game SWTOR through Steam. Apparently both issues were cleared inside of a day. But they did mention, if either of those issues have not cleared up for you, definitely contact the SWTOR team at that point. And there were some people having troubles linking their Twitch account to SWTOR on SWTOR.com. And then they were just going to add more information to that post when they had it. I personally did not have an issue doing it. I did it 30 minutes after the end of the dev stream, roughly. The SWTOR.com was having troubles during the stream, because everyone was trying to log on either to connect their Twitch accounts, or also because there's also that code, which I actually didn't mention before. But if you haven't, if you didn't get the Sahar poster code the last time it was available about 2 years ago, year and a half, 2 years ago, then you can get it now. It's code Lost Padawan. You just log into SWTOR.com, and then there's a code entry thing. You put in Lost Padawan, all mushed together. Capitalization doesn't matter. And if you haven't gotten that Sahar poster before, you can have it now. So there you go. And between people putting that code in and also trying to link their Twitch codes, apparently they kind of clogged SWTOR.com. But 30 minutes after the dev stream, I didn't have an issue either getting in or having an issue linking my Twitch. So if you
like I said, I just did it and it worked fine.
Exactly. So, and that's about that. Anything else going on, Kitty? Anything with your stream or anything?
Not that I can think of. Oh yeah, I should bring it up. I had to change my streaming days from Wednesday through Sunday. Now it is Tuesday through Saturday.
Okay.
I wanted a day off to spend with my sweetheart.
Yeah, on the
The day that
weekends.
we both have off from work, and we can do stuff around the house or chase each other around naked, whatever we want to do.
Awesome. All right, excellent. Yep. So hopefully we'll be able to, at least on some Tuesdays now, we can probably do some PvP. Will you be able to PvP tomorrow?
I'm in, baby.
All right, we'll plan on that. Get some operative butt kicking going. That's the show. If you'd like to play with us in the Utini Knights Guild on the Republic side of the Satil Shan server, or in our
Oh, Teddy Rage.
Guild on the Empire side, do a /C join Utini to join the Utini channel. Then let us know you're a fan of the show. You can email questions and comments about the show to utinicast@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter using @Ootinicast or Mastodon @Ootinicast@mastodon.world. You can find contact details for us on our website, Ootinicast.com, which includes how to subscribe using iTunes and the rest. We record the show live bi-weekly on Wednesdays, 4 p.m. Pacific, streaming at twitch.tv/Ootinicast. Our theme song is Doomsday by Jean-Paul Zogby. And thank you to the chat room.
Hey, Dad.
And we'll see you next show.
All right, I'm going over to Twitch real quick. See who's over there.
Yep, and I'll get over to the dashboard so I can actually do the raid.
We got.
Let's see.
Who do we have? Who do we have?
And did you raid Ali? I can't remember his full name, but it starts with Ali.
Yeah.
He seems really nice.
He's really nice. Is he on?
He was earlier. I'd actually raided him after you raided me, but I don't see him at the moment. Although there's quite a few.
You know who's really, really funny is Magic and Comic.
Actually,
she's good.
Actually, Ronan is starting up. So let's go ahead and do Ronan. So
yeah, get Ronan.
So hey everyone, thanks for coming, and yeah, we'll see you next time. Let's go say hi to Ronan Vat here.
Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful couple of weeks, and we'll see you in about 14 days.
Awesome. And there we go. All right. He was still starting up, so he may not be like right there, but cool.
And my little raid animations are Jawas too, so it's perfect for Ootinicast too.
Okay, so he's getting online. Let me go ahead and get over here. So I'm stopping the stream, stopping the recording.